Hey everybody, I'm Aznfunk. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm joined by a really awesome guest. She is a Marvel, anime, and video game cosplayer on Instagram, Alex, aka Sin in Disguise. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Actually, what Sin in Disguise? How did you come up with that? What does that mean?
Oh gosh, it started as an inside joke between me and my friend. And it was kind of a joke because I'm like more goth and kind of alternative in real life. And then I started out by cosplaying like these really cutesy anime girls and like some like comic book chicks. And like you really wouldn't expect under the wig for me to have like a half-shaved head and like piercings and everything. So it's mostly just about how different I am out of cosplay and like it's a disguise. And she makes fun of me for it all of the time.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, this is like not what I've seen on your Instagram. So yeah, it totally makes sense. You wanted to kind of just talk about how you got into cosplay and what is it about cosplay you enjoy?
Yeah, let's see. I started cosplaying in 2018 because I had a history class with a couple of girls that I also knew were into anime and like some similar movies and stuff and like the Marvel and DC universe. And I was super excited because it's really hard to find people who are into it if you're not at conventions or you don't already have like this pre-established link with this person. So I wanted to get to know them better, and they eventually invited me into their cosplay group, which they did like performances at smaller conventions and like dance performances and all kinds of stuff. And it was heavily centered around anime. And through them, I just found this amazing community, and I'm grateful for them that they got me into it, and I just kept going with it, and I still have all of these amazing friends, and it's really great.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think like the cosplay community is like one of the most welcoming, like awesome, like global community. Like doesn't matter where you're from or like what your skill level is. Like if you just love cosplay, like you'll find somebody who will most likely be like, yeah, I like that same character or whatever. So yeah, I completely agree with you. They're like a really cool, like not a subgroup, but like a community that you didn't even know existed until you find them.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So are you watching Loki?
I'm not, because I'm really not cut up on any of like the Avengers, Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I really want to be.
Okay. I guess we're done talking here then. I don't think we can continue with this.
Thank you for having me.
That's right. It's been fun. Okay, so I follow quite a few cosplayers on Instagram, but I don't think I've actually seen a really good like gender bending Gambit cosplayer. Can you tell me why you think that is and why you chose Gambit of all the X-Men characters?
Ooh. He's always been my favorite, and like God, ever since I was super young, like 5 or 6, I would always gravitate towards him. And I'm less comfortable because I would have just done like Gambit not gender bent, but I am very short in real life, so I'm way less comfortable with male cosplays. So I figured it'd be easiest and probably the most fun and comfortable for me to do a gender bent version. And I don't know, there's just not a lot of Gambit cosplayers, period. Like I've definitely seen some other gender bends, and I don't know, I just get really excited when I see someone else cosplaying Gambit because I feel like he's left out of a lot of X-Men stuff, especially merchandise. And so
yeah, I will completely agree with you. I feel like I don't think it's because he's not popular, because he's definitely popular. Like I think there isn't a single person who's like, I don't really like Gambit, but I think it's because, especially like for cosplayers, I think it's because he's just really difficult to pull off well, you know? I think it's like he's got a lot of different pieces that like if you don't do it right, then it doesn't feel like Gambit. So I think that's probably why. It's not that they don't like him. I think he's just harder to pull off. But
that would be a lot of.
Is there a character that you feel like is the most difficult to cosplay as of all the ones that you've done?
I did Psylocke a while ago, and that one was difficult because she has this thing. She's super fierce and super beautiful, and as a girl, it's very hard to capture that in a lot of your pictures. And so that one was pretty difficult for me.
When you have you had like a professional photo shoot before, or not like professional, but have you done like where you would have a photographer just photographing the cosplay like of a character? Have you done that before?
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah. Is that any different than when you go to like to a convention? Like are you doing something different for a photo than you are when you were like walking around the convention floor?
Definitely, yeah. I remember being really surprised at the first convention I went to in cosplay that like everybody finds like the one nice spot with really good lighting and everybody takes turns taking pictures there. And like that is really fun. And you can definitely get some good shots.
What do you look for in a character that you want to cosplay as? Like what is it that like when you're watching a show or a movie, you're like, I want to cosplay as that character? What is it that you look for?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. Some of them just have like the quality, you know, where you look at their outfit and you're like, wow, I really want to wear that. For me, it's definitely like my body type I look at, because I mean, obviously, cosplay doesn't have to depend on body type, but I tend to feel more comfortable in stuff that would flatter my specific body type. Characters that act similar to me, just because I think I can see myself in them. So it would be really cool to see myself as them. And just if something's really eye-catching, because I like to be eye-catching at conventions especially.
This is like a closer look at your Gambit cosplay, which I think is like still incredible. I think it's like one of the best just Gambit cosplays I've seen, period, which is really awesome. Can you talk a little bit about like when you decided you wanted to do it, and then like any challenges you met when you're trying to make it, and just like talk about like, you know, just talk about what it was like doing it.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much. That made like my entire year hearing you say that I'm one of like the best you've ever seen, because I'm really glad that I pulled off the character well, since we were talking about that. As far as challenges go, the boots, how they have like the armor on them, foam working is really hard for me. And I don't know if it's just because I'm impatient, but I always manage to mess up on either like the assembly or the painting, and something always goes wrong. And so I think that's the third time I did the boots in that picture, because there have been 3 iterations technically of this Gambit. And so
really, which version is this one?
This is the third one. This is the current.
This is the ultimate. This is the most recent version.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, the boots probably, and then the tubing on my corset is also, and so that was pretty difficult to get it into place.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. What about? It was hard. Okay, is that hair yours? Is that real hair?
No, it is a wig.
Oh, okay. See, it's so good. I couldn't tell if it was real or not.
Thank you. I'm glad. It was like $11 on Amazon.
I think you spent your money well, because it looks good. How hard were the contacts to get in?
Oh gosh, they're sclera contacts, so they are very big, and you have to set aside like 20 minutes before you actually start getting ready to get them in. And what you have to do is you have to pull your eye down and upwards and kind of like put them under your eyelid and slide them, and then it hurts like really bad for 15 minutes while your eye adjusts to them, and then it's like nothing is in your eye. It's crazy.
Weird. That sounds so painful.
It's kind of painful, like my eyes water and everything because they get dry, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was just curious because like I've spoken to other cosplayers, and whenever I ask them like, oh, what's the hardest thing about, you know, the cosplays that you guys do, and they always say the contact lenses are the worst. Because I mean, it's like you're sticking something in your eye, and it's like you got to wear it all day. So, but yeah, that's really cool. How'd you make the staff? What is that?
Oh, it's actually 3D printed. My grandparents, they're super involved and super supportive of me. And my grandpa brought himself a 3D printer. And I was telling him like, oh, like I'm trying to make some props and like I'm having a hard time transporting my staff because it was just a PVC pipe that I spray painted over.
Right.
And yeah, I went to their house a couple days later and he said he had a present for me. And it was an extendable staff. Like I can collapse it and it's about this big. And then
that
I
is
can
awesome.
whip it around and it extends. And it's the coolest thing. It's one of the best gifts that I've ever received.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it.
That's awesome. I think it's I think the staff completes the look, you know, like I've seen Gambit cosplayers and they just walk around with a card in their hand. It's like, okay, I've seen that, but you never really see them with the staff. And so, yeah, that's like a nice touch that you don't see very often.
I'm glad that it's a little different.
Yeah. And it's such a simple thing, right? Like, yeah, of course his weapon is the staff, but everyone always forgets it because they'd rather carry a playing card, which makes total sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool. Let's go to the next one here. Okay, so I have this book and I went to make sure you were actually in it, and you totally are. So can you talk about your XMen fandom, what it was like meeting the creators and just like that whole experience and finding out you were in a book? How did you even know?
Oh, wow. One of my friends who's also in the picture actually cosplaying as Jean Grey. She contacted me because we had added each other on Instagram after the convention because we talked a little bit at the giant meetup, which was awesome to see all of these cosplayers. And we got the creators and it was just so cool to see all of these people. And like, you feel like they're your people because I don't know, it's so hard to find X-Men fans these days. And so I'm always glad to find them. But
Right.
yeah, so me and one of the Jean Grey cosplayers followed each other on Instagram and we talked back and forth. She's amazing. She's super supportive, very nice. And she DMs me one day and she's like, hey, we're in a book. And I was like, no way. Like, what are you talking about? And she sends me a picture of the page. And I was like, oh my God, I remember taking this picture. And like, that's me right there in Gambit Cosplay. And it was crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. At first I was like, okay, she just really loves the X-Men. I get it. And then at first I thought, okay, this is like, you're just at some convention. And then I looked closer. I was like, wait a minute, the people in the back, that's like Eric and Julia Leewald.
Yeah.
That looks familiar. And I was like, wait a minute, I think I saw this exact photo. And I went to look in the book. I was like, oh my God, she's in the book. That's pretty awesome. It's like you're canon now. You're like immortalized in this book.
God.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Like one of the best things that's ever happened to me. It was crazy to like figure it out and then get the book and see myself in it.
Yeah.
And, just the other day we found it in Barnes and Noble and I was with one of my friends and I was like, guess what? I'm in this book. And it was really cool.
Yeah, it's like, check out page 215. Yeah, that's all. What was it like meeting the creators? Like I haven't met any of these people in real life. I've only spoken to them like virtually, and it's like I'm super jealous that you got to meet like the cast and the creators. Like, can you talk about that?
God, it was amazing getting to talk to them because the creators are just Eric and Julia. They're very nice people. And I actually ran into them in a hallway at LA Comic-Con and they recognized me as Gambit. And I was like, that was just such a big compliment that my cosplay was recognizable as one of their characters. I was so grateful. And we talked for a second about how impactful the series was. I have a selfie, I think, with Julia that I could find somewhere. And it was just really great talking to them. And then also Larry Houston, I got to talk to him pretty in depth about how the series affected me growing up, especially, and just how grateful I was to have been exposed to such an important message and such an intricate story as a child.
That's cool. Yeah. I hope to meet them someday. But I agree with you. Like I've spoken to them too, and they are just like more than happy to tell you anything and everything about the show. And it's like, wow. It's very rare to find people who have created that and are just like so nice.
Yeah, definitely.
It's almost like you can't be this nice. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. But yeah, no, that's really awesome. Super jealous you got to meet them. But yeah, it's cool. I thought I'd want to ask you about this. It seemed like a really really awesome thing.
It really was.
Yeah, cool. All right, so you're talking about the Psylocke cosplay. Now that we're actually seeing it, can you maybe talk a little bit more about like what you tried to do differently as Psylocke? Because you were talking about how like it's a little challenging to kind of like embody the character.
Well, first of all, the pictures didn't come out so good because it was Halloween and I had like 20 minutes with one of my friends and I was like, hey, will you take a couple pictures so I can put it on my Instagram? And you could see the cosplay, but they're not very good pictures. And
Hey,
so
no judgment. It looks great to me.
well, thank you. I'm glad it does. But I didn't really get to put like all of my energy, I guess, into posing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the second picture is just me fixing the wig, and it makes me laugh. It's a funny picture, but I didn't get to really portray what a badass she is, you know? Like I wanted to do all kinds of like, you know, she gets like down low, she's a ninja.
Yeah.
It's
like the poses, right? The action poses, yeah.
Yeah, so the poses was difficult. And then keeping all of the leg bands up was a nightmare. I think in these pictures, they're actually duct taped to my legs on the inside because they wouldn't stay up. And so, that was just difficult in a technical sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But
that's hilarious. Like that's something I never would have even have been like, that's a thing. That was a problem you had.
Yep.
That's cool. I like it. Was this do you make most of your cosplay, all your cosplay? Like do you try to make as many pieces of it as you can, like at home? Yeah.
No, I make all of it.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I try my best to. I don't think that there's any that I haven't made at least like 80-90% of.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the wig, you know, like the wig and contacts, right? Those are the only things you have to actually like buy.
Yeah, and I did buy the sword for this one.
Sure, yeah. I mean, if you're also like a sword maker, that just would not be fair.
No, props are so hard.
I agree. It's contacts and props. Those are like the most difficult things. Okay, cool. So I also thought this was a really cool Cyclops. Can you talk about this this cosplay?
Ooh, I've actually been meaning to redo that one because some of my yellows don't match. And it really bothered me. But this was because I was going to LA Comic Con specifically for the X-Men, and I was actually going to go with Scarlet Witch that day, but it was like 3 days before I was supposed to fly out, and I was having so many difficulties with Scarlet Witch, and I remember calling one of my really good cosplay friends, and I was like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish Scarlet Witch and have it done well in like the time that I have until I fly out. And she was like, what if you just trashed that idea for now and threw something together? And I was like, wow, you're a genius.
You're like, huh.
And I was sitting in the fabric aisle in a Walmart just sobbing, and I saw the blue that the bodysuit is made out of, and I was like, oh my god, that's like the classic blue. What if I just use the excess fabric from Rogue for the yellow? I gender bent Cyclops, and it was, I don't know, I really like the silhouette and everything that I did. I just wish I'd had more time and more advanced technique to pull it off. So that's one that's on my list of things that need to be redone.
Yeah, no, I think for putting that together at the last minute, I think if like the yellow's not matching was the biggest issue, I think that's fantastic, because I don't even think most people could have scrambled that kind of stuff together and have it look like this. But yeah, I think it looks great to me. I was like, I didn't even notice the yellow's not matching. That wasn't even like a thing. But yeah, I thought it was really cool, because again, you don't see a lot of gender bending Cyclopses. Almost never. It's always the typical, just the standard guy Cyclops. So yeah, I think it's cool. It's cool to see.
I'm glad.
Cool. All right. So you're talking about the Scarlet Witch one. And you also went as Emma Frost, the White Queen.
Yep.
Can you talk about these a little bit?
Ooh, I remember Emma Frost because it was so difficult to wear. I made the entire thing again, and the cape had a lot of issues staying up, just because it was on a part of your body that you have to move a lot.
Yeah.
And so I taped it down in like 2 or 3 places, and it came unstuck every time. And the gloves too. So I just need to find a better way to keep it up here. But I really liked being Emma because of like the cut of the outfit, I think, especially the corset and the low-rise pants was very flattering, and I liked that. And then Scarlet Witch was one of like the most difficult things I had made at the point of me wearing it, which I think was a year and a half ago. And I'm actually revamping it right now.
Oh,
I have pieces put together. Yeah, I have a convention tomorrow actually, and I hope to be done with it.
what?
So
Oh man. Okay. Well, I won't take up too much of your time then. We'll wrap this up.
Don't worry about it. I'm faring pretty well, surprisingly.
Cool. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, I can't wait to see the upgraded version. That'd be pretty cool. What advice would you give to somebody who was wanting to get into cosplay?
I would say do it. I know that like everybody has anxieties about how they're gonna look, how they're gonna feel, how it's gonna go, what other people are gonna think. But honestly, cosplay has been one of the most influential, like positively influential hobbies that I've ever picked up. And the sense of community that you get just automatically as soon as you walk into a convention door. All of the friends that you're going to make because of similar interests and similar difficulties in cosplay, it's just astounding. And you open yourself up to new opportunities, basically any kind of opportunity. That wasn't worded very well, I'm sorry.
No, I'll edit that out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just so many more opportunities, so many open doors. It honestly has changed my life for the better. And it does wonders for your self-confidence too. So I think if you want to, even a little bit, you should try it. Because the worst thing that happens is you don't really like it and you have costumes for Halloween.
Yep, exactly.
Of course, thank you so much for having me and taking the time to talk to me about all of it. It was really fun.
But yeah, thanks so much for being here.